Good morning, good morning, pregame crew. I'll be with you in just a second. Can you hear me? It looks like I have some drop frames, so I want to make sure this is working. I'm coming to you from Louisiana, and I'm so glad to be here. Good morning. Good morning. It is Wednesday, October 4th, 2023, 6:18 Mountain Time, 7:18 Central Time, 8:18 Eastern Time. Good morning. AV's good? All right. Let's keep our fingers crossed it stays that way. Good morning. Hi, Hector. Shake and Bake, Greg, Chris, Dylan, Andre. Hey, Helping Hands, Anthony. Hey, Rob. Marvin. Sir Fernando, Brian, Donald, Green Money, thanks Night Truck, Gino, Kat. You can hear me even in the Netherlands. Well, I do have some drop frames, so hopefully that stays muted and everything works fine. I am using T-Mobile, their new home internet. It works out here, so let's see if it works. Starlink hasn't come in yet, so that's what I'm trying. Do y'all have some chart requests? Hey, Tom. I jumped on early to make sure I had functionality. Thanks, Hector. I'm in Louisiana supporting my parents, being with my mom and dad, family. I was here every morning. I just couldn't stream because of Wi-Fi issues, so. Okay, success. I'm on it. We just had ADP data 5 minutes ago, so this little spike that you're seeing on ES right now, that is from ADP data. Audio is dropping. Okay. I will continue to work on it after this show. Yeah, Dan's been doing double duty, but there's nothing I can do for the show right now. So if it gets too bad, I can get Lamont to drop on. That'll be my goal. But hopefully it doesn't get worse than this. Ren on Euro next. Y'all have no idea how hard it is to want to do the pregame show and not be able to because of internet. It's frustrating. Ren, let me try that again. Ren on Euro next. I've never heard of Euro next. Yeah, I don't see it. You're going to have to give me a little bit more help. Oh, good, Donald. Thank you. Awesome, Tom. Hey, Mary. I'm sorry, Andre. I want to help you. Just tell me how to do this. Euro next. I've never done that. Oh. This is a coin. Okay, USD. Maybe it'll get me a little closer. Thank you, Tamazon. Do I do USDT? Will that help me find Euro next? Thanks, Marvin. I will. Oh, when I enter REN, it was the 3rd. Oh, right there. And duh. Euro next Amsterdam. I know that you're limited on what you can trade, Andre. I saw your notes before. Liquidity is not terrible. Looks like a weekly bull flag. Little bearish divergence on the monthly RSI where you're making a lower high over here than you are compared to over here. But this is a beautiful chart, potential weekly bull flag. Daily bear break without a lot of follow through right there, which makes you go look for that bull flag on a higher time frame. 4-hour higher high, have plenty of room for higher low, have a little squeeze, not overbought. Here you're overbought, you wouldn't want to be buying up here, but maybe a pullback buy. And the most aggressive bear could look to top fish, but I just wouldn't mess with this. This is too bullish. I would only look to the long side. All right, let's go back. Google. Yeah, Dan's the best. He's been helping me a ton, and I appreciate all the understanding from y'all and from my TCG family. A weekly lower high is the more likely scenario on Google with the size of this pullback. And since you've been gone, I will stay as long as I can, as long as I have service. I'm going to stay as long as I can to answer your questions because y'all have tolerated not having me, which you've had the goat, so that should have been all right. Daily inside bar on Google. I don't like Google's location here. So, should be right there. There it is. I don't like Google's location right here because a lower high is anticipated compared to 139.16. I like that it's over the daily 50 MA. Weekly, this could be a head and shoulders setting up, so be aware of that. So that's the left shoulder here, the head. We could be forming a right shoulder. I looked at Google. I wanted to trade it. It is stronger than a lot of other tech names, but I just didn't like its location. It's holding up great in pre-market. You see how you have a little head and shoulders here? The mama chart is having a baby right there. You see this? When you have pretty distinct patterns on higher time frames, sometimes you can look on lower time frames, and the mama head and shoulders in this example could be giving us an hourly head and shoulders. So something to be aware of. Google's not broken, and there's plenty of charts out there that broken. It's broken. This is one of them. Yeah, I'll look at Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin could be a little weekly head and shoulders we have to be aware of. We're stuck below the weekly 200 MA. You know what? My audio may not be as good in Louisiana, but the coffee is better. My mama's coffee is the best. All right. Potential daily head and shoulders right here on RSI is kind of jumping out at me, and the bear volume that we had on this consolidation hitting the daily 200 MA. Overall, was stronger than the market overnight. It has a nice little bounce going, but guess what's over it? How apropos. I'm in Louisiana, and the Great Wall of Louisiana is impacting price right now in Bitcoin. Major rejection from the hourly 50 MA. Look at all these rejections over here. So see what the bulls can do. It could be an hourly bull flag. And let's be real. On the daily chart, this looks better than most of the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ names. There's nothing wrong with this. Shout out to the fam. Awesome, Tammy. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, success. My mom can hear me through the door, so I'll tell her y'all send love. Okay. Oxy. PLTR. Okay. PLTR had news this morning, so they're up about 3% last time I looked, now 4%. Potential daily high or low on the pullback, but we're popping right here on news. It's unfortunate. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's not unfortunate. They have good news. That's positive. But a daily high or low is the more likely scenario. We're putting this in, but the odds are pretty low that they're going to come over here and just drop a higher high with this large of a pullback. How large of a pullback was it? To the golden pocket here. So we pull back to the golden pocket. So the odds that we run to a higher high despite having this beautiful news and bounce are pretty low. But news can overcome most likely scenarios. 1577 is your resistance from yesterday. I would keep this one on back burner watch. First 5 minute oversold during regular trading hours could give you a good long. And bears will be waiting up here. These highs over here. Okay, I need to go a little faster. 3 minutes. 3 minutes until we officially get started. All right. What was after PLTR? Oxy. I'm out of order, y'all. Just bear with me. It's not on purpose. It's not on purpose. Okay, Oxy sitting on the daily 200 MA. Oil was weak overnight. XLE, it may be time for some rotation from XLE into other sectors. with this oil weakness. But we are sitting on the daily 50 MA on XLE. I mean, this isn't a broken chart yet on the weekly. A weekly high or low is the more likely scenario, so it's definitely not broken. Oxy, a weekly high or low is the more likely scenario. On the daily, we're approaching the 200 MA, so we did get a lower low. Let me see if this makes any sense. This is looking mega phony. No, that doesn't make any sense. My guess would be you would need a bounce in oil in order to get an Oxy long attempt, and that bounce isn't happening quite yet. You have inventory today at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and you have 10:30, right? Let me look. Getting all my time zones mixed up. Yes, you have oil inventory at 10:30 a.m. and you have OPEC meeting that happened overnight, something to be aware of. 4 hour is approaching oversold. It was oversold back here. That didn't mark the low. So I don't trust the next 4 hour oversold. I don't trust it. Will it take daily oversold to get the bounce going? I'm not sure. I'm trying to find a scenario to be an aggressive bull right now. That's why I keep changing time frames, and I'm not finding it. So I'm not going to force it. 60, you have some support in the 61.50 area and then $61. Let's see if bulls buy the dip. I would wait for a 5-minute trend change before I jump into a long too aggressively. Yes, night truck, I did see that earlier, that XBI hourly head and shoulders. I almost added it to my list. I think that's why the 2 hours right there, because I just looked at it. Come on, computer. Yes, I do see that. And then I was looking at the weekly and I'm like, well, the weekly is in a downtrend. We lost to 72.44. Monthly's in a downtrend. And then I threw the idea away. So I'm with you, Rob. I saw this loud and clear, this potential 2 hour inverse head and shoulders on XBI, but I discarded it because I couldn't find a time frame that would make the most likely scenario for us to go bottom fishing. I couldn't find that, so I let it go. You probably have a potential bear flag on the 4 hour time frame. Interesting. Okay, let me go back up. Oh, it's 6:31. Let me get started. Good morning. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori, and I'm part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. If you want to give me a follow on Twitter at Chart Gal Lori, that would be wonderful. Check us out at chartguys.com. Typically, I'm bringing this show to you from lovely Idaho with my normal connection. I am at my parents' house, and I am desperate to do this pregame show because I love it so dearly. So we're using T-Mobile. I'm seeing I'm having some dropped frames, so just bear with me. Hopefully the audio is good enough that we can get some succinct ideas through. Or maybe my brain needs to be good enough to not have dropped frames to get a succinct brain. How about that? All right. We just had ADP data, and we got a little spike out of that. I don't know if that held. Let me go back up to ES. We're getting a bounce from overnight. And ADP just had a spike, yeah. Hey, Manny. Hey, William. Okay. So we have ISM data. So let me back up. S&P Global Services at 9:45. And we have ISM data at 10 a.m. So just be aware we have more data coming out. Tomorrow we have initial jobless claims. And Friday we have ISM. Nope, not that. Non-farm payrolls on Friday. So just be aware of that. Thank you, Mary. Exactly, long T-Mobile. As soon as I saw how cheap this is and how well it worked out here in the woods, I Googled who owns T-Mobile, because the lady said they got hundreds in Monday, and yesterday I was buying one of the last few in Alexandria. So it was high demand right now. So we do have data this mid-morning. Don't forget about that. This is a show where I go over indices, commodities, crypto, movers and shakers of the day, and I show you this table that shows you how I'm looking. So obviously looking a little more bearish than bullish this morning. So I'm in reverse back burner mode. I think what makes sense is aggressive bull mode in the morning, if that's something you do, and conservative bear mode in the afternoon as if bulls peter out. And that's just me kind of sequencing the day. It doesn't mean it'll end up like that. All right. So overall, let's look at ES, the weekly 50 MA. This is the glimmer of hope that I see for bulls right there. Weekly 50 MA on ES, and then on daily, we lost that 200 MA, but we're beat up on RSI. So daily oversold, looking for a monthly higher low as RSI is resting on 50 RSI on the monthly, weekly resting on the weekly 50 MA, and daily oversold. So I just lined up the evidence that I have to be a more aggressive bull this morning for those three reasons. It doesn't mean I'll be right, doesn't mean I'll kill it, but the bounce is already happening. In an ideal world, we would have gapped down and then we could have bought that gap. That would have been ideal, but we didn't get the ideal scenario. But I'm still comfortable with a pullback buy. And then if we continue pushing higher, then I want to flip to reverse back burner. Meaning I'm looking for overbought conditions to potentially short. NASDAQ getting a beautiful bounce going on. Look at this table. Oh, VIX was the other thing. I'll cover that it's above the weekly 50 MA overhead, and then it's just getting over it, and then that trend line's still present. Market bulls have until Friday, end of day, to get back below that trend line on VIX. Let's see if they can do it. DAX was green overnight, and Hang Seng was red. All right. So on the monthly, on NASDAQ, we're still looking for a higher low. Oh, wrong thing. As long as we stay above 14289, a monthly bull flag is possible. Daily, we got some lower wick of bulls buying the dip overnight. We didn't quite get oversold. I think we grazed it last week, but we got a nice hammer forming right now of lower wick of bulls buying the dip. Do you see the bullish RSI divergence? Lower low on price while RSI made a higher low. So some bullish divergence there on NASDAQ. NASDAQ was stronger than the rest yesterday for the most part. We're getting a good bounce on. Bears will be waiting for 4-hour lower highs. Where do we look for 4-hour lower highs? 15-minute overbought. We're overbought right now. You're over this resistance. So the problem is we have no resistance to top fish. 14826 was prior support that could serve as resistance. So we don't want to front run these top fishing situations. We want to make sure we have some friends with us on the trade before we take the short. Looks like sound may be breaking up a little bit more. I'm trying to convey my strongest ideas as soon as possible. VIX. On the weekly, we still have this resistance trend line right there. This candle could theoretically push back below the weekly 50 MA in this trend line. Let's see. I think it's a strong statement by VIX bulls if we were to able to close over the trend line and the weekly 50 MA by Friday. We'll see. Okay, back to RTY is weak. QQQ. Your support and resistance. Your clear resistance is the high of yesterday, 361.01, and your low is 353.28, and then you kind of drop into lower time frames and you say, okay, 356.51 is next. And then with how rapidly we dropped yesterday, you don't have a lot of other resistance in this area above 356.51. And your support, you could use the low of yesterday, 353.28, or the low of after hours, 352.89. Awesome. Thank you, Kat. Thank you. All right. RTY is getting juicy. So if you're a member of TCG, you know that Dan talks about silver and gold and various laggard leader plays. So for example, gold is the major metal. Silver is the minor metal. If gold is pulling back, typically silver is pulling back harder. If gold is bouncing, then silver is bouncing harder. Well, if we look at IWM, if the market's pulling back, typically the Russell is pulling back harder because it's a higher, riskier asset, or it's a riskier asset class. And then if we're bouncing, IWM's bounce can be a little more peppy than NASDAQ. So on RTY, we have lost monthly support here and here, but we've got this like quadruple bottom in the 1710 area. So I would look for a potential bounce there. We're pretty beat up on the Russell. Daily RSI is 28. So if the market were to get going, I would look at RTY for a potential long laggard play to NASDAQ and ES, because the bounce could be have a little more pep in its step than even the NASDAQ and ES gets really beat up. I would like this trade idea more if we had not broken that monthly support here of 1744 and 1739. So I didn't put it as a Queen of the Mountain trade, it's just something I'm watching for. And again, Bitcoin is stronger than the market overnight, getting a decent bounce going. We're still looking for a 4-hour lower high on Bitcoin, so bears are still looking to top fish this thing. Running into the hourly 50 MA, we're squeezing. Let's see what bulls can. I wouldn't jump into a short without any sign of bears being with you on the trade. I would keep reverse back burners on watch, looking for overbought conditions to potentially short. Ethereum is weaker than Bitcoin. We're not even making it up to that 50 MA. Daily, we're resting on the daily high or low. On a bounce, bears are looking for a top fish against 1755. All right, the dollar. This is good for market bulls. The dollar is finally taking a break, but look how the dollar took a break here. That didn't yield us a lot of fruit, did it? All it did was recover. Let's see if this is meaningful consolidation or temporary consolidation on the dollar. We'll have to wait and see, but this is a tailwind for markets, and this is most likely boosting this market bounce right now. Okay, let's just look at this percentage real quick. I know I'm making it bigger. Look at this. Dollar is down 0.45%. Gold is only up 0.03%. They are not tick for tick inverse, but again, the prison guard is leaving the door wide open for the inmate to escape. The prison guard being the dollar, gold being the prisoner, and it's not taking advantage of the dollar bounce. Look at this 4-hour. It can't even get over the 8 EMA. Look at the dollar. It broke the 8 EMA just fine on the 4-hour. I got to stop changing charts so much. Look, it broke it. Gold is still lagging. Careful. The metal bounce is definitely underway. Just be careful. Make bulls prove it to you. 1849 and 1846 double top on the 4-hour. Bulls aren't proving a whole heck of a lot. And look at this bounce. I mean, what was it? Joe Schmo and Nancy Sue over there buying? And there's no volume. Oil is weak. Daily lower low. Weekly higher high is now set. Now, where does that higher low get set? And is it healthy? That's a long upper wick that's ugly on oil. A bear selling into the pop. So it takes off the case for a potential bear flag because you got a big upper wick of profit taking and you've got elevated bear volume. You have inventory today at 10:30. OPEC was overnight. You're getting oversold now. But you would want 4-hour oversold for that weekly higher low attempt, and you're not quite there. So I don't know that it's time to get too bullish on oil right here. If you could hit that like button, I know it's not the highest quality show I've ever had, but if you could hit the like button, that would be great, and I will work on my connectivity overnight. Okay. Apple. Earlier we had gap rules in play. And now we're pushing back into yesterday's range. So I would look for a pullback buy on Apple for the hourly higher low. Remember, bulls have to prove it with uptrends on the hourly chart. If not, bears are still large and in charge. We're monitoring these trends on that hourly chart to see, are bulls proving it, or are bears just covering and then they're going to step back in. So a daily higher low is possible, not guaranteed on Apple. So we're still looking for the monthly bull flag on Apple. We just got a weekly bear break on Apple. Now, was it a fake out? Oh, you're cute, Marvin. Was it a fake out? So we look for bull flags when we have tiny bear breaks without a lot of follow through. So let's see if bulls can turn this frown upside down on Apple and get over yesterday's high. So any intraday resistance on the hourly chart that a name has, that's step one. And then you want to go get the hourly higher low and then change the trend. Thank you, HY. So what I mean by that is, this is a great example. 17281. What you want to see if you're an Apple bull, you want to see bulls take it to the limit, take it over the intraday support, pull back, get a higher low, and then change that trend and take out prior day's high. We're asking a lot of these bulls, but that's okay. You need to ask a lot of them. Money's hard to come by. You don't need to be throwing your good money until bulls prove themselves. So aggressive bulls are looking for a pullback buy to possibly go take out the intraday high and possibly yesterday's high. Y'all, what would that make if we were to eclipse this entire range? Let's say we gap down at open and then we go take out that resistance, get the higher low, and then take out the high of yesterday. Those are outside bars. That would be bullish for the market, potentially engulfing bars. So we're looking for that. Not saying it's going to happen, but man, that's a lot of graffiti on my charts, huh? All right. Amazon, same thing. We're looking for higher lows compared to yesterday's low. I'm going to open up the door and just see if that helps. Just 1 second. Mom, I have to open the door. I have to open the door. Okay, we're looking for higher lows on Amazon with the size of this bounce. A higher low compared to the low of yesterday is possible. The low of yesterday was 124.25. So if you're a bull, you want to see something like this. Push it. Come on, little pen. Okay, push it and then pull back. Get that higher low compared to yesterday's low. Then go take out yesterday's high. NVDA, we're getting above yesterday's low. We've got that intraday level to take out. And bears will be waiting at 15-minute overbought, hourly overbought for those reverse back burners. That's the most important thing I want to tell you today is reverse back burner. TCG members, I have notes for you. So if I don't get to everything, just know that I have some notes that are not in my typical format, but I have them.